Hello friends, welcome back to Nandip Academy's UPSC answer writing program. So as you know, we have been discussing UPSC means questions here. We are trying to give you an approach as to how you should be writing your answers. So in the series today, we have a question from UPSC means 2022. Now, this is a unique question where I know I can tell you a new approach towards writing answers. Now, this question, first of all, is only for 150 words. Now, you need to have this in your mind when you're writing answers, right? You're not supposed to exceed the word limit. Now, though the word limit is only 150 words, when you look at the question, you understand there are multiple questions that you have to answer. Now, this question reads, discuss in detail the photochemical smog, emphasizing its formation, effects, and mitigation. Now, these are three important words. The next question is explain 1999 Gothenburg Protocol. Now, these many aspects you need to answer just in 150 words. So, first you need to understand the locus and focus of the question. Now, in such questions, it is very easy to understand the focus of the question because they straight away ask you what exactly the answer or what the question requires. So the focus obviously here is the formation of photochemical smog, the effects of photochemical smog, and the mitigation measures that we can undertake to deal with photochemical smog. Also, in the second part of the question, the Gothenburg Protocol is also the focus because it is a separate question, right, where there is no locus. Now, the locus in this question is photochemical smog. Now, what most students do or tend to do is they keep on writing about photochemical smog. We don't have to forget that what about photochemical smog is required in the answer, and it is only formation, effects, and mitigation. What is different about this question that it is easy to decode the focus or to understand the focus. You just cannot go wrong in approach for these questions, right? Because it is straightforward. It wants to know the formation, effects, and mitigation, and also the Gothenburg Protocol. Okay, so first try to understand the locus and focus, because if you don't understand this, you're going to miss this word limit, okay, and which is going to cost you. Okay, now moving forward, how do you start? How do you introduce this question, or how do you start your answer? Now, obviously, you'll have to explain what photochemical smog is. Now, this is not the focus of our answer. So, you should be using minimum words to explain what photochemical smog is, because the question says explain, right? But it should not be in detail. So, here hardly I'm taking 20 words to explain what photochemical smog is. Now, see, photochemical smog actually is a favorite topic with UPSC. We have had questions in prelims, we have had questions in UPSC mains as well. Okay, so you should be in a position to define what photochemical smog is very, very briefly. Okay, now for example, it is a mixture of pollutants. We need to understand it is a mixture of primary pollutants and secondary pollutants. If you're wondering what primary pollutants and secondary pollutants are, there already is a question in UPSC prelims about this. Okay. It is a mixture of pollutants that are formed when nitrogen oxide, this is again important, nitrogen oxide and volatile organic compounds react with sunlight. This process is very important. So when you're explaining photochemical smog, you need to explain what actually it is. It is because of the oxides of nitrogen and its reaction with sunlight. Secondary pollutants are formed like ozone and PAN, and that leads to photochemical smog. Okay, so these pollutants react with sunlight, creating a brown haze above cities. Right, this brown haze is important again. Then mostly it is in cities. Right, it is also known as summer fog. Photochemical smog is also known as summer fog. Okay, so this is how you start your answer. Now, going to the body of the answer. Now here it is clear you are supposed to answer the formation of photochemical smog. You have already in the introduction started explaining the formation of photochemical smog. You just have to continue. So the formation is due to the concentration of primary and secondary pollutants. Okay. Now, when it comes to primary pollutants, it is primarily oxides of nitrogen that react with sunlight, which form a secondary pollutant, which is tropospheric ozone. right? Ozone, when in troposphere, is a pollutant. Mind it and remember it. Okay. Now, this reaction creates a brown haze over the cities. This is how photochemical smog is formed. Now, you cannot write more than this because it is only 150 words that you have to use. Okay. Now, the second part of the body is what are the effects of photochemical smog. Now, you may have more effects, you may know more effects, but prioritize them and write only the most important 3 or at the most 4 points. Now, what are those? The first and the most important is acid rain and eutrophication. Acid rain results into eutrophication. It also results in many agricultural problems. It results in bleaching buildings, stones. So this is an important effect. Then there are toxic pollutants are produced. For example, ozone. These examples are very important, and pan is another example. Okay, so even in the first question where I discussed, I've told you, try to give examples. That makes your answer more real. Okay. Now, irritation in eyes, respiratory problems you have, decreased vision and shortness of breath. Problems with heart and lungs also. This is again important. Problems with hearts and lungs. Okay, because you respire that polluted air. So these are the effects of photochemical smog. Now, moving ahead, the third part of the body is how do you mitigate this problem. So what are the mitigation measures? This is again, see, it goes on and on. But here you will have to again prioritize and just write 3 points or at the most 4 points. Now, the first and the most important is you need to reduce emissions of greenhouse gases, because that is the root cause of formation of photochemical smog. So, and it is also anthropogenic. You need to understand this, because most of the oxides of nitrogen are emitted by vehicles. Okay, so the reason here is anthropogenic. So, reducing greenhouse gases is the most important point here. So, again, example you can give here. So you can reduce the use of fossil fuels. This is example. So what I'm doing is I'm substantiating the point that I'm writing in the answer. So when I say reduce greenhouse gases, how can that be achieved? It is by reducing the use of fossil fuels. Then we say using cleaner energy. Now again, I'll have to substantiate, give some examples. Then you write biofuels, you have hydrogen, you have renewable energies, you have solar, wind, and so many examples you can give. Okay, using renewable energy or cleaner energy is one solution. Then catalytic converters, UPSC has asked questions on catalytic converters as well. Catalytic converters are those devices which reduce the emission of oxides of nitrogen from your vehicles. Okay, with BS6 engines coming in, this actually is not a very important point, but yes, catalytic converters can be used. Then you have promoting electric vehicles. This is what the government is doing. Okay, once you have electric vehicles in place, there's no point of source for these primary pollutants, and automatically photochemical smog formation will be controlled. Okay, so these are the 3 important parts of the body. Then the next is Gothenburg Protocol 1999. Now you should again understand that you cannot write more than 30 to 40 words about this protocol. You just see what students do is, see, the exam has already given us that it is a protocol of that was signed in 1999. So most students start writing again Gothenburg Protocol, which was signed in 1999. Now what's the point? You're wasting your words, because that is already mentioned in the question. Okay, so what you need to write is what this convention or what this protocol is all about. It is about reducing air pollution, particularly the long-range transboundary air pollution. Okay, and for what? To protect human health and environment from air pollution. So this is you tell about the protocol. Then you say it sets emission ceilings for 2010 for 4 pollutants: sulfur, nitrogen oxide, volatile organic compounds, and ammonia. Okay, this much of Gothenburg Protocol is sufficient, because all through the answer we cannot forget that we have to write this answer only in 150 words. Now you still have conclusion remaining. Okay, so in between I used a term that photochemical smog is an anthropogenic problem. It is humans who are causing photochemical smog, or human actions are causing photochemical smog. So when you're concluding, you can state that because it is an anthropogenic cause, public or people need to be made aware of the needs or the dangers of photochemical smog and the measures that can be taken to reduce the photochemical smog. Okay, so this was all about the question. I hope you understand the types of question that UPSC is asking. Okay, the better you understand the locus and focus, the better you can write your answers. So that is what we are actually targeting in this series. Okay, this is all for today. Thank you and have a nice day.